that it's been so I'll actually start by introducing myself. My name is Avinash Viswanathan. I usually go by Avi, and I am the Director of Community Engagement here with the Minnesota Historical Society. I was joking earlier, commenting earlier that it's been a long time since I have done in-person programming, over a couple of years, and I am blinded by the lights in front, and this is kind of usually it's the ring light or the whatever light on the Zoom that's blinding me, but now it's these big bright spotlights. But thank you all for coming here to the History Center today. I'm so glad to welcome you all here this afternoon. We are gathered today for a number of reasons, but as the Director of Community Engagement, one of the key pieces is to learn, build, and strengthen knowledge, bonds, and community together. As the Director of Community Engagement and the Department of Community Engagement here, we work really hard to make sure that stories from all Minnesotans are told, particularly those stories that haven't been told by the Historical Society over the course of the 150 years of this organization. And it's really important that as we're doing that work, that the people who are actually telling the stories are the people from those communities. This organization has a history of having taken from communities across this state, but our lens on the work is to ensure that we're not taking, but creating the space for people and communities to share their history. And that's what's important about today with the film Manzanar Diverted that we'll see in a little bit here. Spoken word, songs, performances by people from communities sharing their culture and their stories. That's true of that Our Home exhibit, which you'll get to see, which was created by Native people in partnership with the Historical Society, and Righting a Wrong, an exhibit that is a traveling exhibit from the Smithsonian that we're fortunate enough to have here right now, but was also created in partnership and relationship with the Japanese community. And with that, I would like to now hand it off to individuals that you will hear from people who will share their stories and their culture of their communities. And Stan here first.
Hello, how are we doing? Okay, I'm Stan Kusunoki. I'm a third generation Japanese American or Sansei. And my mom was, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, she was, like most Japanese Americans, put in prison camps. She was in Poston, which is a very similar camp to Manzanar, which we'll be hearing about. And so when Manzanar opened, they brought in water. They brought in water to the camp, which meant they brought irrigation into the indigenous people's land as well. And so that's part of the connection we're working with. And I was going to read about the camp, but back in 1996, I wrote, produced, and performed a piece called Pangea, the Land Bridge Project, with Native American and Anishinaabe, Red Lake Anishinaabe, Trickster Coyote Jameson Mato. And what we did was we started with our creation stories. And of course, they were very, very different. And then I brought in the land bridge concept, and of course he said, no, we were always here. That's crap. And so I wish he were here so you get his side of the story, but time and limitations mean that you get just my side of the story. And then, so I'm going to do a piece and then the finale from the Land Bridge Project, in which case my wife will join us. We have 3 voices for the last one, and I'll play myself in Jameson's role. But this is the first piece from the Land Bridge Project. Some cocky young Japanese keeps hearing from visitors that he is of the people of the rising sun. Yet he wakes up every morning and the sun comes up over the ocean, not under his bedroll. Says to himself, if we are people of the rising sun, grandfather's grandfather must have come from beyond the water. So he sets off into the sunrise on a raft of many visions, finding not the land of ancestors, but an ocean of monsoon season. Washed ashore on the eastern landfall of Hokkaido, cursing gods and forebears, he dreams Amaterasu, the sun goddess, an ancestor of all the yet-to-be emperors of Japan, who tells him, "Follow my footsteps across the sea, and you will find the rising sun." In the morning, he looks east, then north, sails in his boat. Yes, the sun goddess left it since she knows only gods can walk on water. To the islands of Amaterasu's footsteps. How could he know they're supposed to be called the Kurils and the Aleutians? Making the shores of the Alaskan Peninsula, he still sees the sun rising to the east, calls in frustration to Amaterasu, "Hey, how come I'm not in the land of the rising sun?" The goddess has to level with him. "Look, kid, you may never find the rising sun. I was just wondering how far you'd go." She adds to soften things, "But maybe one of your offspring." "Yeah, right," says our petulant explorer. "And just how do you propose that I have offspring?" The goddess smiles. A year and several generations later, goddess being proficient and prolific, our hero is in the Yukon territories. Kids being a royal pain. Some want to stay, some want to find the rising sun, some just want to go south, cop a tan. "Okay already," says our main man. "I am old. You do what you want. Stay. Go. Only remember this. Your mother is the sun. Always honor her. Take what you need from the land and no more. Give back when you can an offering to your mom, and to me too. Don't forget you are the children of a goddess." And so, in this way, a Japanese visionary populated no civilized North America. A true story. And so the next piece, the last piece here, is the finale from Landbridge. And it was supposed to be in 3 voices, so I will play myself, and then when I put the hat on, for clarity, I will be doing Jameson's persona. And the third person, I have asked my wife, Claudia Daly, to play God, of course. So. Hey, did you hear they found a skeleton in Oregon that's over 9,000 years old, and that it looks Caucasian? Do you know what that means? Old bones. Big deal. No, it blows our land bridge project. Whoever it is could have come across the land bridge way before Europeans came across the Atlantic. Whoa now, whoa. You know what you're saying? First off, you're saying, my people didn't originate in Wind Cave like my elders told me. And then you say, we didn't exist until people came over Beringia? I'm not gonna buy that crap. Oh, come on, it doesn't change who you are. Man, you are really dense today, bro. It changes everything. It changes our fundamental beliefs about life, about spirit. Yeah, but what about the scientific evidence? I mean, they got carbon dating on that skeleton. Bones again. All kinds of bones make a people. Look at you. Is your head the same shape as anyone else's? What's that prove, man? Nothing. Look, I know how we were created. You can't prove religion. I mean, prove scientifically that Moses parted the Red Sea. Go tell the Pope that Jesus had a 3-day coma and snapped out of it.
3-day coma? I kind of like that.
Whoa, did you hear that? Yeah, who the hell is that?
Oh, indeed. A good question.
Here's a better question. How did you get in here?
I've been here all the time. I just thought I'd like to get into the debate now.
Now that's a crock. How come we didn't see you before now?
I'm always here. I just didn't choose to show myself.
So you're some kind of ghost?
Close, but not quite. I'm God.
Yeah, right. So if you're a god, you can tell us everything about where we come from. Settle our little argument?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes and no? If you're God, you must have all the answers.
Look, I set all the laws of science, yet I exist out of science. Religion made me who I am.
Uh-huh. So, what religion?
Religions. I am Buddha, Krishna, Ra, Jesus, Muhammad, Zeus, Wotan, Bujun, Buffalo Woman. Shall I go on?
But those are all different times and beliefs.
So I am what the situation demands.
So, what's true?
Well, it's all true. Look, how many channels do you get with one of those satellite dishes? A couple hundred? What's that to an all-powerful creature with a heck of an imagination?
Oh, great. Sybil is God. And that still doesn't answer the Beringia question.
Land bridge. You want science? Here's science. The entire landmass of this speck was one big island. Turtle Island, if you will. Do your homework. Continental drift, tectonic plates. As for where you came from, what makes you who you are is what you believe.
So, what if it's true? What if all the gods are one God? If we all started in the same place and we're just rediscovering each other?
In the time of bridges, in nanospace, connections all around the world in seconds, then why do you build walls?
If it's true, why do we build walls in Jerusalem?
Why do we build walls in Belfast?
If it's true, why do we build walls in Beijing?
If it's true, why do we build walls in Moscow?
If it's true, why do we build walls on the Rio Grande?
If it's true, why build walls in South Chicago?
Or on Lake Street?
Franklin Avenue?
If it's true, bridges are there in front of us.
And they can be crossed. Cross the bridge.
Say it with me. Cross the bridges.
Cross the bridges.
I can't hear you. Cross the bridges. Cross the bridges. Cross the bridges. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like now to welcome Micah.
Hamidaki Chate Washte Nape Chuja Bablo. Makasi Tomni Le Yuha Kina Honka Unkichi Abi. Ake Hochoka Elokinashi. My name is Micah Nickey. My Lakota name is Woi Hambla Yuhamani. He walks with the dream. And I am a Sichangu Lakota from Rosebud, South Dakota. And I was asked to come here and give a song presentation. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sing a couple songs for you. These songs are very meaningful, and you look at the history of our people and the traumatic past that we've all had, and eventually we find that we have fortitude also existing in our DNA, and for us fortitude, it really means the ability to keep going when there's absolutely no reason to keep going. And so these songs, our culture, our traditions, they have carried us since the beginning of time, and I really enjoy your presentation on that you just did with the land bridge, and I don't know how possible that is, to say there's land, everybody cross, at one time, so yeah, but it was really good, and I look forward to seeing the film, and thank you for inviting me over, and I'll share a couple songs with you. As in our culture, being a singer is one of the most important things that we have amongst our people. The singers are the heartbeat of every ceremony. They are the interpreters of every ceremony that we have. When people are so worn down and tired, and they can't even think anymore, and they can't even pray anymore, it's our songs that give a voice to them and say what they want to say about how they want to live in good health and life with their relatives. And as singers, we interpret all of these songs for the people. And in times when they get hard, the songs are like a blanket. And when we're having hard times, we take that blanket and we cover ourselves up with that song. And then when we're feeling strong enough and when we're feeling like we're able to live again, we take that same blanket and we wrap the people up in it. So for everything that we do, there's a reason, there's a meaning, there's a purpose behind all of that. So I just want to say thank you, for inviting me here, and I'm going to sing 2 songs. The first one, it says, "Help me." With this voice between 2 worlds, I'm asking for health and life. And then the second one is, I want to live. I want to live. So these are what we call Viwangwachi, Wachipi, Sundance songs. Amen. Wopila Kaka Ichichaplo, Itaku Yasi, all my relations. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Micah. Before I introduce our next speaker who will lead us into the film, after the film's over, please join us up on the third floor where we will have food and more performances and an opportunity to visit the Our Home exhibit and the Righting a Wrong exhibit. There will be staff members who are up just outside of the auditorium here who can direct you to the stairs and or elevator if you need. And now I'm going to introduce the director and producer of the film, who will then, well, I'll let you introduce yourself, but Anne.
Thank you, Micah. That was so beautiful. I feel so honored to share such an amazing song and to be welcomed here. So, my name is Kaneko. I'm the producer and director of Manzanar Diverted, When Water Becomes Dust. I come from Tongva, Chumash, Kitschland, also known as Los Angeles. And you know, in the film, I was so touched and so honored because so many people from Payahunadu shared their songs with us to share with you all in the film. And I know that songs are so meaningful, so it's really an honor to be here as well, to be here with Lakota Ojibwa people here and to hear this song. So I just wanted to acknowledge also that, you know, I had forgotten, and then when I arrived and I saw these signs for Hamlin University, my aunt was, you know, when she was incarcerated, she started at UC Berkeley, but then World War II happened and her education got disrupted, and then my family went to Jerome, Arkansas, and you know, she wanted to continue her education, and she got a scholarship to attend Hamlin. So I have this connection to you all here, and it's, you know, and also I've met so many people who have worked with the MIS, and to know that here also at Fort Snelling was where so many were trained. I feel like there are so many connections. Yesterday, as I was flying into the airport, I was overwhelmed by the water that I saw from the window. There are rivers and lakes, and this is such a rich land full of so much water. And this film is a story about water, but in the West, I can't say that we are so blessed with so much water now. You know, the West is and certainly right now, we are facing a drought all across the Western United States. So, you know, but it is this life force that connects us all, and it's this story which, you know, for me, I found this connection in this place, and it really has been a journey for me to learn about so many communities through the making of this film. For myself, my parents, my grandparents were all incarcerated during World War II. And although they were not incarcerated at Manzanar, you know, I think we all share that legacy of what it meant to have our families, you know, taken from their homes and taken far away. But, you know, I really realized that the precedence in this country for this kind of forced removal is really what happened to Native Americans across this country. And also for African Americans who were brought here. You know, those were forced removals. And then, as I was making this film, I was reminded that, you know, this place so far from Los Angeles was where we got our water, and that people had also been forced from there because the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power had bought this land so that it could be Los Angeles's watershed. And again, it forced people out. So this place ties so many communities together, and it really pleases me that so many people in so many other places have also had, have found resonance with this story, because it does tie so many elements of our lives together. And so I'm so happy to share it. I really am. I want to say thank you to the JACL. They are one of our early funders, as well as, of course, the Minnesota National Historical Society, who's, been so supportive in bringing this event here. And I hope you enjoyed the film. So I'm around afterwards if you have any questions, or if there's some burning desire to ask a few questions, I'm happy to answer them. So thank you.